Hi, I'm Susan Waters from Exceeding Joy. Our scripture this week is Galatians 5, verse 22 to 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. Now we want to look today at the segment kindness and goodness. Now, in the first two translations that I read on Sunday, it just says kindness and goodness. The next one says a sense of compassion in the heart and a conviction that a basic holiness permeates things and people. The next translation, the last one, says being kind and being good. Now, kindness is also looked at as compassion. And Jesus was moved by compassion all through the New Testament. It says, and Jesus was moved by compassion and healed the sick. He was moved by compassion and healed the blind. Everything he did, he was first moved by compassion. And so if Jesus did mighty miracles after he was moved by compassion, we should be moved by compassion as well. If we're moved by compassion, we will pray more fervently for others. I've watched some videos on Facebook about how people that there was a guy that went around asking people for food, and people turned him down, and then he went to people living on the streets and they gave him food, and he did another video where it was money. And it's like, it just seems that the more we have, the less compassion we have. And I know statistically, I read years ago that the people with less money tend to be bigger givers, not in the amount, but the percentage. And I believe that that's because if you are without, you understand that. It's so much easier to walk in compassion because you understand their need or how they're suffering. But we don't have to do without to have compassion. It makes it easier. It's almost an automatic thing if we can relate to what someone's going through. But we can ask God for his heart, and we can walk in that compassion. Compassion and kindness touches people's hearts, and it changes lives. If we look at goodness, some of the words used to describe goodness are kindness, uprightness, gentleness, morally upright, excellence in character and demeanor, integrity. And to me, those are all motives of the heart. And so we choose to have those motives, the right motives of the heart. We choose to walk in really love towards other people. So the two challenges I have for you today, the first one is allow compassion to move in your heart. And that means don't harden your heart or justify. It's like you walk by someone that's tripped on the street, or a street person asking for money. It's so easy to harden your heart. You may not want to give them money, but you could pray. But the tendency a lot of times is people harden their hearts, and that's why they don't walk in compassion. They just turn a blind eye. But if we walk in compassion, prayer is so powerful. We can pray for those people. Sometimes we can help them out if God is leading us to. And I believe that the key is to not harden our heart, but to allow God to have that compassion flow in our hearts. Your second challenge is to respond to all of the compassion that's moving in your heart with a pure heart. And again, it's not about giving money or necessarily inconveniencing yourself, although that may be. It's about loving people with the love of God. And as Jesus was moved with compassion and he ministered to people, we are called to move with compassion and to minister to people, praying for them, offering to pray for them or even praying for them as we walk by, helping people, opening a door for someone and smiling at them. Sometimes just smiling at someone walking down the street can be a huge blessing. You don't know what they're going through. Sometimes it's being kind to someone that is grumpy, and maybe you don't know what's going on. You don't know what kind of day they're going through. Perhaps they're in the midst of losing a loved one, and your act of kindness and compassion can minister the love of Christ to them. So bless you as you walk in true kindness and compassion today. We'll see you tomorrow.